Welcome, namaste. My name is Marije. I am one of Studio B's mindfulness teachers. I am also a yoga teacher, and I find yoga to be a really great way to practice mindfulness, especially the practice of Yin Yoga. Yin Yoga is a little different from any other moving type yoga because in this practice you're not moving much at all. As a matter of fact, each pose that you will be in, which will be all either in a seated or lying down variation, you'll be holding still for anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. And in this time, there is lots of time to practice being present. There are 3 qualities to the Yin practice, if you will. First of all, the practice works on a physical level to enhance your range of motion, mostly in the joints and ultimately in your entire body. Secondly, there is an energetic component. By holding these poses for several minutes at a time, you're very effectively stimulating the flow of life force, qi, through the energy channels in the body, the meridians, into their respective organs. And so we can actually target energizing, tonifying, healing specific organs. And ultimately, because all these poses are held for longer periods, once again, the opportunity to practice awareness of the present moment as it is. As it is with any physical practice, please take care of yourself. Don't force anything. If it doesn't feel right for you to be in a certain shape, modify it, back out a little bit, so that the practice really serves you instead of forcing your body into shapes just for the sake of the shapes. You don't really need a specific yoga prop, although if you have blocks, that is always nice, and a blanket is definitely a helpful tool to have nearby if you have one. And then find a way to sit that feels supportive. You could sit on that blanket, or if you have a cushion or anything else, you can sit cross-legged or in any other way that works for your body today. Just for a brief moment, we'll sit to center. So allow your eyes to close when you're ready, or gaze down the tip of your nose to the ground if you feel more comfortable that way. And take a nice deep breath in. And let it go with a sigh. Taking a moment to pause. To gently arrive. See if you can feel your legs making contact with the floor. Can you feel your weight onto your sits bones? Notice if your weight is leaning more to the right or to the left, and see if you can find the center. Notice if you're leaning forward or backwards. Also here, finding your center. Can you notice the sensation of your hands resting on your legs? Notice if your hands are warm or cold. And can you allow a feeling of lengthening in your spine? It doesn't have to be a forced straight back, but just a sense of reaching up from the base of your spine along the lower back, middle back, upper back, out through the crown of your head. Allowing belly to remain soft, face relaxed. And then take 3 nice conscious breaths here. Just noticing your inhale and your exhale. Let's do more like that. After your last exhale, return to your normal breath. Noticing how is it now? And then slowly allow your eyes to open. If you're sitting on a blanket or a block, move it out of your way and then bring your feet in front of you. So also the feet together, knees apart, and allow there to be a nice comfortable distance between your body and your feet. Allow your spine to round forwards, however far your body is willing to go here. So perhaps it's not very far, that's totally fine. Maybe you're a little further down, maybe your head is all the way on your feet, it really doesn't matter. Just let your body go to this spot where you feel just this natural resistance in the body. And there you pause. And seeing if you can find a sense of softness in your body. You may like to support your head to relieve any tension and tightness from your neck. So if your head is close to your feet, perhaps you can stack your fists. If your head is a little further away from your feet, if you have a block, you can put that under your forehead. Or can get creative with any other prop that you can find. And if you don't find it comfortable to come forward with a rounded spine, if you have any lower back sensitivity, maybe keep the spine a little straighter, keeping neck in line with the rest of the spine, extending your arms behind you as a little counterweight. So that's a nice variation too, as long as you can keep your legs relaxed. Allowing your body to be relaxed here to find a maximum effect on your hip joints here, the inner groin and along the spine. With this gentle pull, creating space in your tissues. stimulating hydration to lubricate both the joints and the tissues that envelop your muscles. Noticing just a gentle flow of natural breath in and out. Notice if you're fidgeting, if you're moving around. Can you find a stillness in this shape? Surrendering to gravity. Surrendering to the moment as it is. Notice if you can sense anything changing in your body. Perhaps you can feel your body releasing slowly, slowly. And take 2 more nice, slow, deep breaths here. In and out through your nose. And then slowly, slowly roll up your spine. Use your hands to bring your knees together. And carefully extending your legs to come onto your elbows. Just hanging in this hammock shape for a moment. Just releasing, letting go of the shape that you were just in, and carefully allow your head to come down onto the ground, resting for a moment on your back, noticing the effect of this first pose, the butterfly pose. Maybe you feel a little more length in your spine. Maybe you feel some sensations in your lower back. Maybe you feel some openness in your hips. Maybe you don't feel anything, and that's totally fine too. Just notice that. And slowly roll onto your belly, just carefully turning around, resting your head on your hands for a moment. Relaxing your legs, your buttocks. And then come onto your elbows, so your chest lifts off the floor. Elbows under shoulders to start. Palms can be on the floor or together in a prayer position, whatever feels natural for your arms and shoulders. And allow this to be a very passive shape. The Sphinx pose intended to create some compression in the lower back to stimulate the health of the vertebra and the sacroiliac joint. If there's too much compression here, you're welcome to bring your elbows a little further away from you so that the arch in your lower back is a little less pronounced. And if you're fine with elbows under shoulders, it may feel nice and stable in the shoulder joints that way. Shoulders could shrug up to your ears or press down into your elbows to lift it just a little. Either way is fine. As long as you allow your spine to just hang here. I like to bring to mind a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, those huge cables, how they're hanging. That's just like how your spine is hanging here. Buttocks are relaxed, your legs are relaxed. And this pose not only stimulates your lower back, so increasing blood flow there, it also stimulates the kidneys. In Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine suggests that the kidneys are responsible for our overall health, for the health of all the other organs. And by resting in this pose and gently squeezing that area around the kidneys, we're stimulating the flow of qi, of life force into these organs, enhancing their vitality, tonifying. It's a really nice pose to do regularly to keep your system healthy and vital. And perhaps you're noticing how your belly is pressing against the floor and then releasing a little bit as you exhale. Your inhale, the belly expands into your mat, and on your exhale, belly recedes a little. And take 2 more nice, slow, deep breaths. And carefully lower your chest back down to the ground, resting your head on your hands, or turn your head to one side, whatever feels comfortable. And pausing to notice the resonance of this Sphinx pose, perhaps a momentary dull achiness in your lower back, which is very normal and will go away quickly if you give it a moment to settle. And And slowly and carefully turn onto your back again. And once you're there, resting head, arms by your sides. Notice the effects of just these two simple poses. Whatever effect you are aware of, perhaps it's physical, maybe it's mental, maybe emotional. And again, if you're not noticing anything different, just know that the practice will have an effect nonetheless. And as you bend your knees, carefully pull them in towards your chest for a moment. And your knees can be wider than your hips here, or your legs can be together, whatever works for you. Just a moment here to relax the lower back. Keeping your knees bent, extend your arms to the sides at shoulder height, palms facing up towards the ceiling. And then very carefully lower your knees to your left onto the floor. Now perhaps your knees are not touching, maybe they don't even come down to the floor all the way. If that's the case, fill up the space, either underneath your knees or between your knees with a cushion or a blanket, whatever you have. If your right shoulder is hovering off the floor, that's perfectly fine as long as that feels okay for your shoulder. If not, then again, you can slide a blanket or a cushion underneath that right shoulder to give it some support. But if it's just carefully hanging there, you can let the pull of gravity allow the shoulder joint to gently open, to find some space there. Also in the right side of the chest. Allowing belly to be soft here, face relaxed. And your knees just fall heavy to the left as your right shoulder falls heavy into the other direction. So nice allowing or grounding in the body. And then notice if you can sense your breath. Noticing your inhale and your exhale as they come and go. Notice if you're engaging any muscles anywhere in your body. Can you let go of any engagement, any doing? You're completely letting go here. And take 2 more nice deep breaths here. carefully bring your right knee up. With the foot on the floor, bring your left knee up. Pause for a moment with your feet on the floor, knees bent. Noticing the effect of this supine twist. Maybe noticing a difference between your right and your left side. And bring your knees towards your chest as arms remain on the floor. And carefully let your knees come down to the right. And again, if your knees don't come all the way onto the floor, or if there is a big gap between your knees, use a blanket or a cushion there. If your left shoulder is off the floor and that doesn't feel good for your shoulder, then find something to slide underneath it to support it. And then once you're settled, can you soften again? We're so used to always being active and think that when we're doing, we are productive. And so the Yin Yoga practice is an invitation and to do nothing while you're actually being highly productive. You're creating changes in your body, both physically and energetically. You're giving your mind a moment to pause and simply be present in the moment with whatever you are aware of, without judging your body, without judging your ability to do these poses. So the less you do here, the more effective your practice is. Notice if there's any part of your body that you could relax a little more right now. And then take 2 more nice, slow, deep breaths. Slowly bring your left knee up, placing foot on the floor, and bringing right knee up. Pausing for a moment. Noticing the ground underneath you as you slowly straighten out your legs, arms resting by your sides. Allowing your eyes to close just for a moment. Resting. Allowing your body to absorb the effects of this practice. imagine that you're melting into the floor, becoming one with the earth. Feel free to stay here as long as you're comfortable. And you're also welcome to begin to deepen your breath. And slowly move your toes and your fingers to bring awareness back into your body. Perhaps reach your arms overhead. Give yourself a nice full body stretch. And then as arms come by your sides, bend your knees carefully, roll to your side. And then slowly and carefully come up to sit. And just for a moment, finding a seated position that feels just right for you in this moment, and close your eyes. Notice how your body feels right now. Notice your breath. Notice the quality of your mind. Perhaps there's a word that comes up describing how you feel in this moment. And bring your hands together in front of your heart as a gesture of respect and gratitude. First of all, to yourself for the time you took to practice and be in the moment. And gratitude to anything else that comes to mind right now. And thank you so much for practicing with us today. Namaste.